In the dark alleyways of Europe's criminal underworld, one name strikes fear and commands respect. Necati Arabaci. Born in Cologne in 1972, this Turkish-German figure ascended from the city's vibrant nightlife to become a high-ranking member of the Hells Angels motorcycle club. His criminal portfolio is extensive, including convictions for pimping, human trafficking, assault, extortion, and racketeering. Arabachi's operations have not only disrupted Germany's social order, but have also extended their reach across Europe, leaving a trail of chaos and violence. His recent sightings in Monaco suggest that his influence remains undiminished, continuing to challenge law enforcement agencies across the continent. Rising through Cologne's nightlife, the birth of a criminal powerhouse. Necati Arabaci's rise to power began in the heart of Cologne's vibrant nightlife during the 1990s. The city's club scene, a buzzing center of partying and excess, provided Arabaci with the perfect environment to establish his roots. His entry into the industry was deceptively straightforward. He dominated the bouncer services at clubs and bars. Yet this was no ordinary security operation. Arabaci's Capitular, a group made up mainly of Turkish immigrants, soon transformed into an unchallenged force controlling entry, influence, and ultimately, power in the nightlife scene. He took advantage of legal gray areas with remarkable cunning. From pressuring club owners to maintaining control over competitors, Arabaci's ventures operated on the edge of legitimacy, shielded by a cover of semi-lawful business dealings. Through these strategies, Arabaci not only secured significant financial gains, but also established his reputation as a man who could manipulate the system to serve his ambitions. The nightlife industry became his testing ground, and Arabaci's success here was the start of the criminal empire he would go on to build. What made his rise so extraordinary was his ability to operate in plain sight as both a predator and a businessman, as he turned Cologne's vibrant nightlife into his own empire of shadows. Strategic alliances, forging criminal networks across Europe. Arabaci was not satisfied with controlling Cologne's nightlife. His vision stretched far beyond Germany's borders. To achieve this, he formed powerful alliances with the Turkish mafia, a collaboration that dramatically expanded his influence. Together, they constructed a network that spanned the continent, engaging in a variety of illegal activities that included human trafficking, drug distribution, and arms smuggling. The Turkish mafia brought extensive resources and a long-established network to the table, while Arabaci contributed his strategic mind and expanding empire. This partnership epitomized the importance of collaboration in the world of organized crime. Arabaci understood that to conquer Europe, he needed allies who could fill in the gaps in his own operations. But it wasn't just about crime. Arabaci also diversified his business interests into legitimate-seeming businesses that acted as fronts for money laundering and other illegal schemes. His alliances didn't stop with the Turkish mafia. He also partnered with South American suppliers, ensuring a steady flow of narcotics into Europe. These strategic moves not only made Arabaci immensely wealthy, but also positioned him as a significant player in the European underworld. His expansion was calculated, ruthless, and shockingly successful, proving that in the criminal world, the right partnerships could be the difference between failure and empire. Muscle and connections. The Hells Angels factor. Arabaci's connection with the infamous Hells Angels motorcycle club provided the muscle and street-level influence his operations needed. Joining the Hells Angels in the 1990s, Arabaci quickly worked his way up, using the club's reputation for violence and intimidation to solidify his power. The Hells Angels brought with them not only fearsome reputations, but also an established network of members skilled in enforcing control with lethal force. This alliance proved invaluable for Arabaci, especially as he expanded into areas requiring physical dominance over competitors as well as opponents. The Hells Angels' presence in Germany was already popular. They were linked to drug smuggling, extortion, and violent crime. For Arabaci, their involvement gave his operations an edge that few could rival. This partnership wasn't without complications, as the Hells Angels themselves were often under scrutiny from authorities. Nevertheless, Arabaci's cleverness allowed him to navigate these waters with skill. He leveraged their might while maintaining enough distance to avoid being directly implicated in their internal conflicts. The relationship was mutually beneficial. Arabaci gained protection and enforcement, and the Hells Angels enjoyed access to a larger empire. Together, they left an indelible mark on Germany's criminal landscape, making the country's law enforcement efforts even more challenging. Outsmarting authorities. a master of criminal management. One of the most fascinating aspects of Arabachi's story is how he consistently outmaneuvered law enforcement. Arrested in 2004 and sentenced to 9 years in prison for crimes including extortion and human trafficking, many assumed his empire would crumble. But Arabachi proved them wrong. Even from behind bars, he maintained an iron grip on his operations, directing his network with the precision of a corporate CEO. His ability to continue running his empire while imprisoned highlighted his sophisticated management skills and the loyalty of his associates. Upon his release in 2007 and deportation to Turkey, Arabachi wasted no time reestablishing his activities. He adapted to changing circumstances, using his new base in Turkey to further strengthen his grip on European criminal networks. His continued success confused those who struggled to contain a man who seemed untouchable. Arabachi's resilience demonstrated that traditional methods of law enforcement often fall short when faced with a well-connected and resourceful criminal mastermind. His story is a sharp reminder of the difficulties presented by organized crime in an age of globalization, where borders and prison walls are no longer sufficient barriers. A European empire, thriving through front businesses. While Arabachi was deeply involved in the criminal underworld, he also understood the value of appearances. Across Europe, he invested in legitimate businesses that served as fronts for his illegal activities. Brothels, nightclubs, and even transportation companies became part of his portfolio, all designed to launder the enormous profits generated by his criminal ventures. Spain, in particular, became a key location for his operations. There, Arabachi managed brothels that brought in millions while also acting as a cover for his trafficking and smuggling activities. His ability to blend legitimate business with illegal operations showcased his understanding of modern organized crime's complexities. These businesses allowed him to move money, avoid detection, and maintain a degree of confidentiality that frustrated law enforcement efforts. Arabachi's operations in multiple countries demonstrated not only his ambition, but also his skill in exploiting weak regulatory systems and international loopholes. By the time authorities caught wind of one operation, Arabachi was already several steps ahead, with new ventures waiting in the wings. His use of front businesses was an effective move in ensuring his empire's longevity, solidifying his position as one of Europe's most elusive and successful criminals. The relentless pursuit of power, dominating Europe's underworld. Arabachi's ambition has been the driving force behind his incredible rise, but it has also been his most dangerous trait. His relentless pursuit of dominance over Europe's underworld saw him constantly expanding his network, eliminating rivals, and exploring new opportunities for profit. This unending drive for power brought him unparalleled success, but also attracted intense scrutiny from law enforcement agencies across the continent. By 2020, international efforts to track Arabachi culminated in his arrest in Turkey. Yet even this setback has done little to diminish his influence. Arabachi's ability to thrive in the face of adversity is a testament to his resilience and ability to think strategically. However, it also raises questions about the sustainability of such an empire. With increasing international collaboration among law enforcement agencies, Arabachi's operations face greater pressure than ever before. The very ambition that propelled him to the top could ultimately be his downfall, as his empire becomes harder to keep hidden and maintain. Arabachi's story is not just one of crime and power, but also of the human thirst for dominance, a reminder of the lengths some will go to carve out their place in the world, no matter the cost. Necati Arabaci didn't just climb to the top of Germany's underworld, he redefined it. His story is one of relentless ambition, ruthless strategy, and an extraordinary capacity to stay one step ahead of the law. Even as authorities crack down on his operations, his impact continues to live on like a ghost, haunting Germany and beyond. Arabachi's empire isn't just about crime. It is about power, control, and the art of staying untouchable. His story leaves us questioning how such figures emerge, thrive, and survive in the shadows. As Germany struggles to dismantle what remains of his reign, one thing is certain: Arabachi's impact on the nation's criminal underworld will not soon be forgotten.